Well, hello there. Here we are on YouTube Shorts Live. First time, I didn't even know that's a feature. So let's see how that works. Interesting. Hope you can hear me, see me. If you are, give me a like so I can see that it works. But yeah, just trying something new out. Yeah, this afternoon I'm actually back in Vilnius, Lithuania, which is nice. The city where I lived the last 7 years. And now back for a couple of days from Dubai, which is nice. It was an amazing time. We've been there almost 2 months. Amazing experience, loved it. So yeah, now a couple of days in Vilnius, Lithuania. And next up we're gonna go to Spain, Tenerife actually, which will be really fun. Looking forward to that. 1 month. We just collected our little doggy, who's right next to me over here. You can see her. And then we will go there for 1 month, then back to Vilnius again, and then back to Dubai. So quite intensive travel agenda, but I'm really happy with this. And obviously now that I can work from anywhere, which is really nice. And that's always something I aim for, to have not just financial independence, obviously that's the long-term goal we all chase, but time independence and location independence. So I can work whenever and wherever I want. And for me, that's like really powerful and really appreciate it. And so far I'm on my way there, and really good experience. So yeah, Dubai was good. I mean, we did quite a lot of things. Got the company set up over there, got the visa sorted. That takes a little bit of time usually, but I got an agency to help me with this, so it made it much easier and very straightforward. Obviously, you pay them a bit of money, but then they do everything for you. So now I have my business account there and so on, so I can take payments over there. And then obviously, you know, from a tax point of view, that's much more attractive as well. So that's nice. I'm happy with this. But honestly, coming back to Lithuania, I mean, this place really feels like home, you know? I mean, I don't know, some of you watching maybe never even heard of where's Lithuania. Whenever we say, my wife is Lithuanian, I'm German, wherever we go and they ask us where you're from, I used to say right away, I'm from Germany, and they started speaking German. Now I say, we're from Lithuania, and the conversation quickly stops because nobody really has a clue where's Lithuania. So that's quite nice, but it's really a hidden gem in Eastern Europe, Northern Europe, however you want to define it, but it's a beautiful spot. Really love it. Yeah, other than that, yeah, as I said, just a couple of days here, so a lot of things to be sorted out. We're just in the process. Previously, end of last year, we bought an apartment over here actually. Which was weird because at the time we like thinking to stay here fully, but now having been to Dubai, we really love it there. So obviously you need to live a certain amount of time there in order to become a world citizen, tax citizen of Dubai, and therefore not pay tax. It doesn't mean you just set up a company over there and all of a sudden don't pay tax. You actually also have to live there. You have your whole life, more than half a year, needs to be there in order to become a tax resident of that country. Otherwise, you know, anyone can just start a company and not pay tax. It's not how it works. You need to actually live there. So now that we plan to live there, at the same time, you know, we wondered, why do we still have the unit over here? So we'll see. Right now, we're just building it up. We try to, of course, make it in a sort of economical way in case we do not live there, then it would be a waste to have a fancy apartment sitting empty most of the year, just for summers. On the other hand, obviously, we're still considering it, making it a little bit nice. So if later on we decide to sell it or rent it out, you know, you would get obviously you want to get some sort of profits from it, right? So that's the point, to keep the options open. We don't know yet, honestly. We just in the process. So, but it's really exciting now. We're working with the designers, with the builders. Today we went to select the tiles and all the materials, and it's an interesting process. First time for me, because previously the apartments I bought in Dubai, basically I bought from the developer. So there it's very straightforward. You can choose 2 options. You either have a light option for your kitchen and all the furniture, or a dark option. That's all you can choose, right? Otherwise, it's like everybody has basically the same layout of the apartment, which is not particularly impressive, but it gets the job done. Now we're doing our own unit and apartment, and it's quite nice because obviously you can, you know, steer it in which direction you want, and yeah, quite exciting. A lot of questions which you never thought about before, and they asked us to review the technical drawings. I mean, I saw these drawings. It looked like Chinese to me, you know, like 40 pages of technical drawings where all the lights are, the plugs and what have you. And of course, honestly, it was a little bit overwhelming. But one good thing, as you know, I'm a big lover of using AI and ChatGPT. So what I did actually a screenshot of those plans, fed it into ChatGPT and asked it to give me feedback. And And honestly, you'll be surprised how good it was. And some of those questions I gave back to the designers, and they were quite surprised. Said, "Yep, valid points." They came back with some other feedback. So use AI to your advantage. I always say that. I mean, I always joke 2/3 of my name are AI, so I need to make the most out of it. So yeah, what else is happening? Of course, still got to make some content, obviously. I will probably either today or tomorrow shoot my review of my income sources for last month, from all my cashback, interest, and dividends. I think that's always interesting for you guys, so we'll do that. What else we have? A few meetings lined up. I'm still kind of also consulting and advising for some other companies in hospitality. As some of you know, I was previously a general manager for a luxury hotel, different hotels in the past. So I still have that hospitality inside of me, and I want to use that to obviously help other companies out. So I'm kind of advising a tech startup in the space, which is really exciting, as well as some other company who asked me to help them build up their hospitality portfolio. So that's interesting as well. So yeah, really cool challenges over there. But of course, at the same time, I'm really focused on building up that channel even more in the future. And it's so funny now that I started being a bit more active on Instagram. Sometimes I feel like I'm a bit behind on YouTube, and I'm now watching some different creators in the space, and they really say it's so easy to get to chase the shiny object syndrome, right? To be on so many different channels, and we all feel that, right? The same with investing. We see something we read or saw on YouTube, somebody say invest into Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is up. Everybody's excited about Bitcoin. Great. Next up, the market goes down again. People start loving dividend stocks. Then we go to tech hype stocks like Nvidia and what have you. And people keep on chasing the shiny object syndrome. And we all, I'm guilty to that as well. The same for social media platforms, right? I mean, I used to start with YouTube and only did YouTube. Now I start playing around with a bit more Instagram, and people seem to enjoy it and resonate with it. But at the same time, you can't be everything to everyone, right? You just have to find your own platform. So while I was looking at TikTok as well, I realized it's just going to be too much for me. And in the end, you're going to dilute yourself. You're not going to be able to respond people, to be regularly showing up. And I think it's important to kind of find your niche. So for me, I really made sure it's going to be YouTube, it's going to be Instagram, and my weekly newsletter. And again, I'm a one-person show, right? If one day I have a few more team members, it will be cool to have different channels. I think that makes total sense. Plus actually I forgot, with all my hospitality related content, I'm on LinkedIn. So there I try to also show up 2-3 times a week. So yeah, it's a lot, when you think about it, content creation. But then again, as part of my choice to leave the sort of corporate world and do my own thing, at the same time, I also understand that this is kind of my new profession, and it brings me the ability to work from anywhere, anytime. So it's also great at the same time, so I'm not complaining. I love it, but I think it's important, same as investing, same with your career, not to chase too many things at the same time. Yes, you can dabble around with different things, and it's great to get some experience. But I think if you do everything a little bit, in the end, you do nothing really good. So really double down on one channel and see what comes out of this. What else? In terms of topics, I was thinking also a couple of things. I got quite a few reviews or questions from you guys to talk about Revolut Robo-Advisor. So Revolut, as you know, I'm a huge Revolut fan. I use it for my day-to-day banking needs. It's a great tool, love it. For investing, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I understand a lot of people are using it. And recently they came up with a new function that's kind of robo-investing, which basically, you fill out a survey in the app and they recommend you the best way to invest. So then you just say how much you want to invest, and then the robot, so to say, invests on your behalf. Now, it's an interesting concept. Again, not maybe something I'm completely convinced on, but I think, it could be something interesting to make a video on and then give you my take on it and see if that's interesting or not. So let me know if you find that interesting. I'll be happy to do that. Yeah, definitely always fun to talk about new features on different platforms. Talking about platforms, obviously I started my investing journey with interactive brokers. I still love it. It's just, so many, now we have new viewers to the channel, and a lot of them are complaining about the interface, and I totally get it. Honestly, it's super messy. Like the first time when you log in, it's not pretty at all. And I really hope they make it better, because honestly, even myself sometimes get fed up and started shifting and using more and more, for example, trading 2-on-2. I love the platform, really cool. Now, in the past, I didn't recommend it 100% because they didn't allow you to transfer your portfolio to another broker. I think it's absolutely key to have the ability to transfer your portfolio to another broker, because we never know what happens, right? 2, 3, now they're great, but 2, 3, 4 years from now, they might completely change, and I want to, take my stocks from there and move somewhere else. And a lot of brokers, including, for example, Revolut, unfortunately now, does not allow you the ability to transfer your stocks. I think it's super important because, like I said, nobody knows the future. While they're great now, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. And for example, that's the beauty of crypto, right? You can have your crypto on one exchange, let's say Binance, but then something happens, which we all know recently what happened. The CEO, is in a challenging situation, let's say, in recent times. So then you might want to withdraw your crypto and put it to another exchange, or ideally take it on your hardware wallet. And you can do that. With a lot of brokers, they don't allow you that ability. And what that means, you basically have to sell all your stocks. And that's a shame because it's a taxable event in case you made a profit and you sell it. That's a taxable event, right? In this case, you would have to pay taxes on your profits unless you live in Dubai or other countries that don't have taxes on capital appreciation. And secondly, you lose a lot of the background, right? A lot of your cost basis, let's say you bought at a certain price, unless you manually track that, it will be gone. And I like to always see my performance over the years, how is the percentage increase, means different buys at different times. So there's a big plus of transferring your portfolio within different brokers rather than selling it and then having it to rebuy in a new broker later on. That's not the best way. I had to do it once because I didn't know better. At the time it was possible at Revolut, but I just didn't know it, and then I sold it and then rebought it on interactive brokers. And then unfortunately they had the ability to transfer, but they stopped it. So yeah, that's something very important. A lot of people don't look at it. They only fixate on the fees, but fees is just one point of the equation. So yeah, that would be one topic to talk about as well. What else? Who do we have here? Pavel, hi from Poland. Good to see you. Thanks for commenting. Nice to have you around as always. Alutbai, could you talk a bit about Nexo? Any updates on your opinions on it? Great question. Obviously, now that crypto is back in action, people start focusing. It's so funny, literally the interest and amount of messages absolutely correlates to the price. So it's really cool. I love it. But you can really see, as the price starts picking up, people get more interesting, it's just so funny. It's like the human psychology. Again, I'm subject to the same issue, right? When crypto went down and was quite cheap, a lot of people said, okay, I'm done with it. I focus on stocks. Now it picks up. They see the potential and people get more excited to buy it at a higher price. But again, I'm in the same boat. We all go through these phases. It's just interesting to see. Now, in terms of Nexo, again, I can only speak about what I do myself with my money. Is it better than other platforms? I don't know. Everybody thought FTX was a great platform, Celsius and all the other big platforms that, all of a sudden just went bust, right? So I don't want to say it's 100% safe because there is no safety in crypto, 100%, there's no guarantee on your funds. But from what I've seen, how they did through all the difficult times, and let's be honest, the last few years after the last crypto boom was really difficult. It went very low in terms of price, liquidity was pulled out, a lot of people took their money from the exchange and kept it on the hardware wallet. There was no trading activity or way less trading activity. And that's how the exchanges make money, right? If everybody takes their money and their crypto off the exchange, trades less, basically, they left with very little income for themselves. So the fact that they still did so well, kept on innovating, put themselves out there. The CEO himself regularly is on Bloomberg, is on YouTube interviews, giving answers to questions for the community. So I really appreciate how open-minded they are and transparent. Again, they will never really fully review their P&L and put it out there. As far as I'm aware, they do say they're audited, but again, we have to take their word for it. As far as I understand, the FTX was also audited, and we know where that led to. So again, there's always a certain risk right now, what I've done, because I know that the markets are getting better, and that's good for the exchange. The higher the price goes, there's more trading activity. So I know that right now, probably Nexo is in a good position or better position than they were a year ago. So I feel more comfortable with them. I have, again, more funds lying around there. Still, majority of my funds is on my Ledger hardware wallet, but I feel more and more comfortable to leave more money with them. Would I now transfer all my Ledger funds over there and leave it there? No, surely not. It's just again too diversified because you never know what may happen, right? They're a great exchange, and I wouldn't go with any other exchange because I really love Nexo and I trust them. But I still think having ownership of my own crypto, which is also a big part why I bought Bitcoin in the first place, to be able to have full ownership and custody over my own holdings, And you know, you could obviously, I might be missing out. The only difference, you know, why I would have it on the exchange, let's say, is to get staking rewards. Well, you don't actually get staking rewards on Bitcoin because you can't stake it, but you would get lending rewards. You give it to the exchange, they would lend it out to people who use leverage trading or short Bitcoin or what have you. So there's always a need for people to lend out Bitcoin. And that way you would get an interest. I forgot the percentage now. I might be getting 5-6%, I believe, on Bitcoin if I'm not mistaken. So it's attractive, obviously. But then again, I always say, you know, I rather don't get those 5% interest on my Bitcoin, but have 100% safety of the ones that I do have, right? Because otherwise I might get 5%, but eventually if the exchange closed down, I lose 100%. So, you know, it's always a balancing act. You know, if you have a huge amount, I would really still take majority of it offline in your hardware storage, so to say. If it's a, again, small amount, it's always relative, right? I mean, what is small? You know, for me right now, I have, I think, 5K, but I think I have more than 50K offline, you know? So in that way, for me, that's what I'm saying, as a percentage, even if Nexo goes down tomorrow, it would be a shame. But it wouldn't hurt that much because that 5K is still less than what I made with crypto in the first place. So that's a balancing act, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So hope that kind of answers your question. Been with them since 2017. I'm just excited about it, hoping to make Bitcoin work for me. Absolutely, fully hear you. And yeah, same. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been since 2017, but I love the platform for sure. RoboCode Insight, great channel, very informative. Thank you very much. Talking about Revolut robo advisors. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Just coming back to Revolut robo advisors and robo advisors in general. It was very interesting because when I went through the motions, I started playing around with this Revolut one, and in the end it comes to fees because, you know, everything comes to fees, right? And I think the first one I saw, again, I have to do a bit more deep dive, but it was 0.75% fees. But it sounds like a little, but it actually is a big amount. It's really a big amount, especially if you do it for a couple of years. That really starts eating into your profitability. 0.75%. And again, when I will do the video, I will show you what the impact of that is. So I think there are much better ways, and as we are now entering really in an AI-driven world, I think there are much better ways to get robo-advisor free of charge for you. And even ChatGPT, you know, literally use ChatGPT and prompt it, you know, be my investing advisor. You know, imagine you are Warren Buffett. You can literally tell it to be Warren Buffett. Think like Warren Buffett or any investor that you like. And, you know, and then you say, you know, ask me questions, how to make the best advice. And then you basically prompt it to ask you as if it was the advisor. And then it will ask you your income, your risk tolerance. That's always something very important, how risk tolerant you are. You know, somebody can tell you to invest into S&P 500. That's great, but if you're super risk tolerant and you want to have high risk, high reward, then S&P might not be for you because it's kind of boring, right? You get your 8-9% over the next 30-40 years. So really prompt it correctly, and then it can really advise you well. I actually did that. I was thinking to do a video on that, so I might do another video on investing advice with ChatGPT. You'll be really amazed how good it is, honestly. So yeah, I think that's a better way rather than paying 0.75% to a platform that in the end, honestly, just buys a different collection of ETFs, bonds, and a couple of individual stocks. So I don't think that's necessarily the best way to go about it, but again, it's your money, your choices. As a German, do you have to declare your tax to German even if you don't live in the EU? Good question. Well, I haven't really lived in Germany, I think, since I was 16. I left Germany. I lived in many countries around the world. I did my high school in New Zealand. I studied in Dubai, Switzerland. So kind of been living all over the show. And so when I left Germany, I officially declared that I'm no longer living in Germany. And by doing so, I basically, not became a tax resident of Germany anymore. But instead wherever I lived. So if I now lived the last 7 years in Lithuania, I was a tax resident here, and obviously I have to declare my tax and pay my tax on any, you know, capital gains, dividend income, salary, and what have you. But as I said, now having shifted my main residency to Dubai, as well as the company, everything going through there, and I'll be living there more than half a year. I'll be a tax resident of UAE, which basically means there's no tax, which is nice, right? I mean, there is on corporate income, you know, after a certain amount, more than 100,000 euros of profit around, and you need to have a revenue of more than, I think, 750,000. If you're below those two numbers, there's still absolutely zero tax. So that's really attractive. So yeah, that way I don't have to declare or pay any tax in Europe, which is nice. But for example, Americans, sadly, they're not that lucky because they are taxed on their world income. I think there are other countries as well where they have to declare their world income. And that's a shame, you know. So even you live in the, you know, I don't know, some other tax advantage countries or even the UAE, the first question they ask you when you open a bank, are you a US citizen? Because even you live in a tax-free country, you're still going to have to pay tax on there. So in that way, luckily, a lot of countries have agreements where you don't end up paying taxes. If you live in a country for more than half a year that doesn't charge taxes on your income. So that's really nice. What are your thoughts on macro strategy and clean Spark in a brokerage account as a leverage position? Hello from UK and love the channel. Thank you very much, Vinny. I'll be quite honest, not sure about both of them. I know MicroStrategy, if you mean the one with this, what's the guy, the sailor guy, the company who basically owns all the Bitcoin and buys all the Bitcoin. Clean Spark, I'm also not too familiar with, so sorry for that. But MicroStrategy, it's a very interesting company. I mean, it's in a way I always said it's like buying a Bitcoin ETF, you know, because the guy buys so much Bitcoin. So technically investing into that company, you're buying almost like an ETF. Again, I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin ETFs because it's on the one hand side, I am a fan. I'm really happy that, and sorry if I didn't, if I missed your question, but just, yeah, I don't know those two companies exactly. Talking about Bitcoin ETFs, obviously I'm happy that they exist because a lot of people, for them, it's very difficult and cumbersome to invest into Bitcoin, right? I mean, it's not easy, you know, to open an exchange, first of all, then to buy BTC, you know, all these abbreviations, then the numbers are so tiny. It's a mining company. Okay, thanks for that. Again, I don't know them, but I could imagine that it might be very profitable. I'll come back to it in a second. So talking about the Bitcoin ETF, I think it makes it much easier and more accessible for people to buy Bitcoin. So I'm happy with that. And I think that's also partly why we see now such a boom in the price. Obviously, two events. I mean, it's the upcoming Bitcoin halving. So it just builds up excitement. At the same time, also, you know, overall supply of new Bitcoin to the market will be reduced. So that's a natural mathematical reason why it goes up. Then the excitement behind it. And of course, the recently launched US approved Bitcoin ETFs, they just bring more liquidity because it's much easier for your mom and my mom and our parents to invest in Bitcoin, which it wasn't an exchange, right? They would have to take custody, you know, download, withdraw the funds to their own ledger hardware wallet. It's very technically advanced, I would say, in many ways. So that makes it easier. Even now, big institutional investors can easily invest into and have exposure to Bitcoin, which I previously couldn't really have, because again, you know, those exchanges, they have a huge risk factor. But if you buy Bitcoin through BlackRock, I mean, that makes things so much easier and yeah, more accessible. So I'm in that way a fan of Bitcoin ETFs. Now, personally, of course, being in the space and loving Bitcoin for what it is and what it offers, I do prefer taking custody because I know what I can do with it, right? Those big funds, I don't actually own the Bitcoin itself. I can't withdraw it. If you invest into a Bitcoin ETF, you can't withdraw your Bitcoin and send it to another fund manager. If you're fine with it, great. But again, one of the reasons why I love Bitcoin is the fact that I can, you know, literally travel anywhere in the world, just have my 24 phrase seed phrase with me, and I don't even need any wallet or what have you. I then just connect to the internet with my seed phrase that I can access my Bitcoin and pay anything with it in pretty much most countries. In Dubai, a lot of my guy is a real estate, my friend is a real estate big guy in Dubai. I mean, a lot of the transactions, he said, are going through Bitcoin. So that's amazing. That's what I love about it. You couldn't do that with an ETF. But at the same time, I'm happy they exist and just make it easier and more accessible for most people. So yeah, coming back to the mining company, again, personally, I'm not invested in that, but I know that a lot of people like that. As you know, the saying is like when the gold rush was there, people invested into the guys selling the shovels. You know, they made the real money selling the shovels rather than with the gold itself. So I'm sure you can make you know, good money with that. It's not really something I 100% understand, and yeah, it's just, you know, in terms, I want to own the real Bitcoin, and I want to own some dividend paying stocks. Most of those companies, I understand, they don't pay dividends. So in my case, it doesn't fit my portfolio, but the same way I also don't own Nvidia or other growth tech stock companies necessarily. So yeah, sadly, I only have a certain amount to invest, and I have to pick my battle, so to say. I can't invest into everything, but I think it might be a profitable investment. I'm not saying no. It's just not something I actively invest in. Luis, hi Kai, you are positioning a video from your talk with Getcoin representative as you did for Lightyear. Yeah, a good question, Luis. I would love to actually. I've been in touch with the CEO a few times. Really nice guy. I mean, they actually reached out to me, which was really cool. I love that. And really nice guys. It's a good point. I should actually ask them. Ideally, I want to do it in person. It's always nicer. Like my last videos, whenever I interviewed somebody, I don't like, to be honest, do this online calls. I find them quite boring to watch. I think it's much nicer to have this interactive discussion. They are based in Berlin. I'm from Berlin. I just don't like Berlin, to be very frank. So I only go there whenever I really have to, because my family is based there. So I'll try to make an effort to go once a year. So actually, it's a good point. When I go this year, most likely I will in summer, because when we come back to Lithuania, our apartment might not be ready. So by that time, we're going to be homeless. So that would be a good time to go back home. And yeah, good call. I actually will reach out to him to make a video. I think it would be really fun. So thanks for that. Robello, thank you very much. Will do. Vinny, what your thoughts on Revolut Ultra plan? Worth it for buying crypto on Revolut? Easier for my parents rather than on-ramp, off-ramp? I think it's a Revolut save in your opinion. Thanks, Vinny. Well, first of Revolut Ultra, I love it. I use it myself. It's a fantastic tool. I really benefited from it. Just yesterday, coming from Dubai, flying to Lithuania, in Dubai airport, I think they had like 8 lounges that I could have used. I went to one of the business lounges, amazing. They're like so much nicer than the lounge I get, for example, in Lithuania. They had 3 chefs making live food and so on, and a full stacked bar where there was bartenders making cocktails. So crazy offering. That's nice to see. And I could easily go there with my Revolut card. So I love it. I use it every day for example, my VPN access. I have NordVPN with the Revolut card. It's amazing, it works, it's super seamless, and that's nice. I started reading Financial Times, which I didn't use before, but now having it as part of my Revolut Ultra plan, I really enjoyed, and I started really appreciating the publication. So I really make use of the different benefits it offers. But I understand it may not be for everyone. If you just do it for, I don't know, lower fees or the cashback, you have to really spend a lot in order to cover the 45 euros. I believe it's now 45 or 50, depends where you are, which part, but slightly different pricing. For me, I pay now 45 euros. I took the annual pricing. So for me, I usually spend most of the months enough to cover it just with the cashback. I use the Revolut Pro card, the Revolut Ultra card together with my Revolut Pro card. So that way I get 1.2% on every transaction without any cap. Because otherwise, there's a monthly cap. You can never get more in cashback than you pay for your monthly plan. But with the Revolut Pro card, if you spend, 20,000 euros, you can get, what would be the 1% here? You could get 200 euros, obviously. I guess not many people spend 20,000, but if you really use it for your business expenses, you're running your ads, you pay travels for your employees, what have you, it can start adding up, so that's really cool. It will be interesting to see how it will be for me in the future, because now being Dubai based, obviously I also have to have a Dubai account, and they have some attractive offers. I saw with my bank account over there, I can apply for a credit card to get 2% cashback on every single transaction. And what else? I'm getting now 5% on my dirhams, so that's the local currency over there, paid to me every single day. With Revolut, I get on the Ultra plan 3.9%, I believe, on my euros. So yeah, and there I don't really pay anything on a monthly basis versus Revolut, 45 euros. We'll see. For now, I love it, and I really recommend for people traveling a lot and using those benefits. Will I pay it forever? I don't know, but at the moment, I love it, and I will continue paying for it. What else? In terms of crypto, I don't know. Yes, I guess if they just want to dabble around with it, it can be good now that they allow withdrawing crypto from Revolut, because previously they didn't do that. So that was a smart move. I still think it's a little bit on the expensive side. There are cheaper platforms out there. But yeah, if you speak about your parents using it for crypto, then I think it probably is one of the easiest ways to get into it, definitely. Andy, still waiting for you to come to Rome to eat a pizza. Forget Berlin. Yeah, that sounds better. I like Rome more than Berlin, that's for sure. And pizza is always the way to go. Talk about pizza. You know, as some of you might have been watching for longer, I did last year like a keto diet change. So I was eating no carbs at all. So only fats, proteins, and what have you. Now I kind of went on low carb, so I eat carbs and luckily didn't put on too much weight, but I just realized that I started now preparing for the marathon and so on, so you do need some energy, and that means also before a long run on the weekend I can eat pizza. So yeah, Andy, absolutely, pizza it is. So either Rome, or as you said, I remember you want to still buy your villa in Mallorca, so we can do that as well. What else? Do you think you will open a Patreon account for further insights and knowledge share in the future? You know, I was thinking about this quite a few times. 1 second, guys. So 1 second, I have I think my wife coming in. Who is this? We have a visitor. Oh, the wife is here. Hello, hello, we are live. Please come in, come in, come in.
I don't want to.
Please.
No, I don't want. I don't want.
Okay, so then, come in. Okay.
What are you doing here?
So yeah, so we are just seeing my wife here. So to answer your question, I don't think so, to be honest. Okay, she doesn't want to be. I think she just came from the treatment, so I'll go outside. 1 second, guys. So here we are, by the way, outside. Lovely, nice spot. Good. So I hope you can see me and hear me still. In terms of Patreon, you know, I was thinking about this because it seems every other YouTuber is doing a Patreon account these days. I don't know. I think I'd rather have my own sort of platform, or you know, that I can control, because Patreon, again, you're so subject to another platform. You never know how they're going to change their pricing, and a lot of Europeans not really familiar with. I think in America it's quite common, but for Europeans it's not very usual to join that. So what I did, obviously I have the Facebook group, I have a YouTube channel membership, so we have a few channel members there, so I really appreciate that. You can obviously, if you want to support, join there. And as I said, in the future I'm really thinking, in the beginning I will launch some kind, because I really get a lot of requests for that, to have some kind of investing courses for beginners, really beginner friendly, but then later on to have a membership where, you know, if you're a bit more advanced or you really want to kind of have communication with each other, potentially meetups. I would really love to have some kind of mastermind somewhere where we meet, I don't know, in Dubai or somewhere else, and really get together, you know, 10, 15, maximum 20 people, 1-2 days, well, probably 2 days at least, and really, you know, talk about different subjects in life to advance your skills and grow as an investor, but also as a human being, you know, and do some fun challenges, fitness challenges, ice bath, what have you. So yeah, I already have some ideas. I'm gonna make it happen. It's just, you know, obviously still growing the community a little bit more, and then, but one day it will happen. So I'm really, really happy and excited for that. Right. Which online broker would you recommend for German residents? Well, I would probably, you know, recommend the same I'm always recommending. In Germany, you have obviously access to a number of them. Definitely trading 212. It's a great one if you don't want to pay commissions. It's a fantastic option. You can transfer your portfolio to another broker, which is always good. What else? Trade Republic, of course. It's a German licensed broker, so a bank even. So that's very safe, and I really recommend them for sure. Scalable Capital, again, I can't try them because they're not available in Lithuania, so I can't comment. 1 second, my doggy wants to come out. Okay, she wants to also be in front of the camera. So here we have her. So yeah, this one. And yeah, of course, Lightyear definitely as well. I mean, I'm using Lightyear myself, especially if you have, if you like buying ETFs, they're great because they don't charge any commission. For stocks, they do charge, I think, €1 in most cases. So it's still a very cheap option when you think about it. But especially if you buy ETFs, it's a great option. And I'm really becoming, same with my investments, a fan of diversifications, even across the brokers. Even you have fund protection in many cases, but I still like to try new features, so I like to try different brokers, and you never know, right? Even if one broker goes down, you have the fund protection in place, but you know, from what I heard, in some cases when that did happen, until you get your money back, that can really take months and months, you know, until you claim the money back from your broker. So in that way, you know, being diversified, even one goes down, which touch wood, hopefully won't happen, but if it does and did, you would be able to work with other brokers and keep on investing. So that's, I think, just makes sense. Luis, when you see some stocks on Trading 212, but the fact that you are not the actual owner, for the shares doesn't bother you. They run on. I know what you mean. That you're not, it's not in your name, right? Basically, the shares are registered under their name, and you are, they believe, they call it street name registration or something. So basically, you are in their books the owner, but as per the company that issued the shares, in this case it would be Lightyear or Trading 212 the owner. But that's very common. To be honest, the same with interactive brokers, and I think quite a few brokers out there. So not much I can do about it. Interactive brokers actually allows you the option to ask for physical shares, to have your name there in that share book, so that Apple knows you are, with your name, the owner of that share. But it costs a lot, it takes time, and again, in most cases, it doesn't really change much for me. So no, if you ask me like that, I'm not too bothered about it, because I'm still under most of the protection umbrellas. They have segregation of funds, and yeah, I sleep pretty peacefully at night. I mean, I don't have a multi-million-dollar portfolio yet, so in my case, yeah, I'm not too bothered if you ask me like that. Lena, me be like when I came here. Not sure what it means, but thanks for the comment. By the way, hi. Vinny, take advantage of Trading 212 into interest and the new master debit card, including 0.5% cashback on spend. Yes, absolutely. I'm taking, I have quite a bit of money over there. I'm getting now the, what is it, 4% I believe on Trading 212. So absolutely, I really love that feature that they added. And the card, I don't have access to it yet. I would like to try it out, check it out. It's interesting. It seems to be a trend now. All the brokers coming out with their own card. We had obviously first Trade Republic coming out with their card. Now Trading 212. Maybe more in the future as well. So I think it's a good trend. And then it remains to be seen if it works, if it makes more sense or not. For example, the Trade Republic card, while I will apply for it and check it out to obviously review, from what I've seen, it wasn't that attractive, at least now, because most of the features, let's say the cashback is only up to, what was it? It was only up to a certain amount, it's capped, and there's a few limiting factors. It sounds very nice, the facts they show you, cashback and what have you, but actually from what I read in the finer print, it wasn't that impressive. But as I said, I will do more analysis once the card comes out, but for now I don't have access to it. What do you think about Nvidia? Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm not going to invest in them. I think I'm a little bit late to the party. Would I have liked to invest in them a year ago? Yeah, but again, it's not my investing strategy. In terms of Bitcoin, I'm a bit more bullish and aggressive, because you could arguably say that this is more risky, risk versus return. But in terms of stocks, I'm a bit more conservative. I like my S&P 500 ETF, and I like my dividend-paying stocks. You know, and since Nvidia, at least for now, doesn't pay a dividend, you know, I might be missing out, yes, but as I said, I can't invest into every single thing. I have real estate to invest in, my dividend stocks, ETFs, crypto, so I can't do everything at the same time, and I enjoy the joy of missing out, so to say. So I'm happy for those making money. In my case, I won't be. We eat carbs only in breakfast. Well, that's good. I think you're Italian, though. You eat it also for dinner, all the pasta, but it's a good approach. I don't understand what you're talking about, Lena. Well, I'm sorry for that, but anyways, how old are you? Bye, guys. Okay. Are you single, rockers? No, unlike you, I'm very much married. But thanks for the question. Still married, and as you saw, my wife was just coming in. So as far as I'm aware, I'm still married. So yeah, very happily. Hi, did you start investing? Yes, my whole channel is about investing, so yeah, you probably can watch some videos afterwards and to see how I invest in what I invest in. Would you recommend buying ETFs at an ETF issuer? Example, create an account at Vanguard and buy it straight there. Look, Rebello, I mean, if you can do that, I think it's not a bad approach, to be honest. Again, in Lithuania, sadly, I can't open a Vanguard account. If I could at the time, I probably would, because you know, it's just one little risk factor less, and Vanguard being one of the biggest money managers in the world and ETF issuers in the world, it's probably one of the safest bets, right? I would either go with BlackRock or Vanguard. In my case, I also like to buy Vanguard ETFs. So if you have the option, definitely go for it. Definitely, I think there's nothing wrong with it. How warm is it? Maybe I'm shaking right now. It's not very warm because I'm sitting right now on the balcony. It's we have it, I think, 6 degrees in Lithuania. So yeah, it's bloody cold, but since we're staying in a small place and my wife came back now, I had to just jump out, so I won't last too long out here. What else? Greetings from Greece. Greetings back, Novatus, from cold Lithuania. Long time I haven't been to Greece. Still need to go to Mykonos. Never been to Mykonos, so hopefully have the chance to go there one day. Yeah, all right, guys. So I don't know if there's any other questions, but hope you enjoyed it. First time I'm doing this YouTube short live. Really fun, actually. So you don't need all this fancy setup. So I might do this more often if you enjoyed it. So Labas, another Lithuanian. Greetings. So yeah, thanks a lot for dialing in. Wish you all a beautiful weekend ahead. Stay awesome, and I will probably publish another video today. Still have to do one, and then the other one on Sunday. So with this, stay awesome, guys. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.